You ever have one of those weeks where you realize everything you thought you knew about your neighbors, your job, even yourself, was just the surface, barely the first layer of something way darker? Let me tell you what I'm about to share. Isn't just another, can you believe what happened on my street story? This one's got everything suburban poison secrets, the kind of hate that grows in the cracks. And yeah, the moment I found myself hunting a thief who turned out to be running from monsters even uglier than himself. It all started with a comment, one of those things you hear, and even if you pretend you didn't, you know it's going to stick to you for years. I was out mowing the lawn on a Saturday, my only peace all week, when Karen, yeah, let's just call her that, leans over her perfect white picket fence, hits me with the world's fakest smile, and says, "Oh my, you people must do so well with all that government assistance." That's the moment I knew this wasn't a neighborhood, it was a chessboard, and I was the piece she figured didn't belong. I just looked at her, nodded, and fired up the mower. I wasn't about to give her the show she wanted, you know what I mean? But it stuck. It always does. Thing is, what Karen didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I'm not just the diversity hire they imagined. I'm the chief of police in this city, been at it for years, know how to spot trouble from a mile away, and more than that, I know how to flip the table when someone tries to use it against me. So when her kid, the one with the perpetual smirk and the kind of swagger you only get from never having to work for anything, ended up at the center of a mess that threatened to take down their whole suburban kingdom, well, I had a front row seat. Our street looks like one of those insurance commercials, lawns so green it hurts your eyes, houses so similar you'd get lost if it wasn't for the flags and truck decals. Block parties, community, everything. But the real pastime was gossip, especially about the new guy who happened to be black and drive a nicer car than some of them. Her husband was a grunting brute, always polishing his truck, always giving me that look. Their son, barely 20, was the wild card, more like a ghost than a neighbor always lurking, watching. One week I'm prepping for a solo fishing trip in the mountains, just needed a break, some quiet after months of hell at work. I hit the bank, grabbed $2,000 in cash, because out there that's just how you pay for bait. For a boat, for a little freedom. Came home exhausted, groceries in one hand, suit jacket over the dining chair. Should have known better, right? Not 5 minutes later, my wallet's gone. $2,000 in cash, my badge, my IDs, poof. If you've ever lost something like that, you know the punch in the gut feeling. I tore my house apart. I checked everywhere, fridge cushions, the works. That wallet wasn't missing, it was stolen. I start thinking, who had a chance? Who could have slipped in and out without being seen? And then I see it, a single muddy leaf print by the back door. Japanese maple, the only one around in Karen's front yard. Circumstantial, sure, but you start stacking bricks. I check my security camera, only got one facing the driveway. There's her son staring as I walk in, then gone for 10 minutes. Suddenly he's back throwing his stuff in a backpack, jumpy as hell, and peels out in his car. Something's up, something big. Casino's the place for desperate people with new cash to burn, and it's an hour out. I make some calls quiet off the books. Turns out, Karen's boy isn't just a petty thief. He's deep in with online sports betting, payday loans, the kind of debts you don't get a bill for, you get a visit. Turns out some of the cars around their house were already flagged in our ongoing surveillance. Suddenly, the theft feels less like a crime of opportunity and more like a last-ditch survival move. The kid wasn't running for fun, he was running for his life. So I head to the casino. No badge, no backup, just a suit, and the authority that's built into my bones after all these years. Concierge checks the registry for me. Room 714. I knock hard. He opens just a crack, scared already. We need to talk. It's about my wallet. He tries to slam the door, but I'm not moving. Inside, there's the mess wallet on the bed, my stuff everywhere, the cash nearly gone. He's trying for that smirk, but it's gone brittle. Kid's terrified. He starts in with excuses, found it meant to give it back, blah, blah, blah. Then his phone rings. It's his dad, Karen's husband, and he's loud, racist, threatening. You touch my boy, you know the type. I just tell him, come down to the hotel. Bring the family. I want them to see it, to see what their world looks like when the masks come off. They show up all fire and fury, Dad in my face, Karen wailing about her poor, terrified son. She calls the police on me. The irony almost makes me laugh. She's calling the cops on the chief of police. When the officers come in, their faces change the second they recognize me. Suddenly, the room's frozen. I explain, calm, clear. Here's my badge. Here's my ID. Here's the thief and the stolen cash. It's over. Except it's not. See, as the cops cuff the son and take the parents in for questioning, turns out the dad is connected to an underground poker ring, white supremacist group, the whole toxic mess. The reality hits me. The kid wasn't stealing to party. He was stealing to escape. The money wasn't for the tables. It was a getaway fund. He was trying to run from his own father and the monsters that raised him. We raid the father's group, guns, ledgers, hate-filled manifestos, all of it. Karen gets charged for false police report obstruction. The kid, well, yeah, he's guilty. But he's a victim, too. I make sure the court knows it. I write a statement, tell the judge what this family did to him. He gets a lighter sentence, rehab, a shot at a real life. The others, they lose everything. Their little empire crumbles. But here's the twist. You know how hate works. Cut off one head and two grow back. The media spins it. The father gets a high-priced lawyer who starts painting me as the villain, says I went vigilante, used my power to settle a score with a good family. Karen cries on TV, says I targeted them because they're white. The whole narrative flips. Comment sections blow up. People I thought I knew start looking at me sideways. I get put on administrative leave, my own department treating me like a liability. Meanwhile, the son's in juvie, getting leaned on by kids who see him as a traitor. His mother poisoning his mind during visits, telling him to recant, to save his father, to say, I coerced him. He breaks. He takes it all back. Now it looks like I railroaded an innocent kid, destroyed a family. My reputation tanks, threats show up at my house, hate painted on my door. The lawyer even claims I faked the crime against myself for sympathy. It's a circus, and the real criminals are cheering from the sidelines. Just when I'm ready to give up, I get a call from a guard at the juvenile facility. He says the kid tried to hurt himself, but before they got to him, he wrote my name on a slip of paper. He's terrified of his parents, of the hate group, not me. He's trying to send me a message to say I'm still here. I need help. There's one more move left, one last chance to put it all right. And maybe, just maybe, pull one more mask off this broken place we all call home. So here's my point. Assumptions are poison. You, people, those words started this, but it was the story behind them that nearly destroyed 3 families and a whole community's sense of justice. Prejudice isn't just a cage for others, it's a cage for the ones who hold the key. And when you underestimate someone, you just might find out too late that the cards were never really in your hand. So tell me, what do you think? Did justice get served? Or did the system just spin its wheels like always? Who's to blame? The criminals, the parents, the system, or something deeper? Drop your thoughts below. I want to know, how would you have handled this mess? Where do you draw the line between justice and revenge, between protecting your peace and fighting for what's right? Stay safe out there, and hey, watch your neighbors. You never know which ones are building fences and which ones are hiding behind them.